Hello, this is what came through for February 16th, 2026. So this is probably another story time because, first of all, I did not sleep great. I woke up a little after midnight actually, and I was wide awake for hours. Well, I wouldn't say wide awake because I was like half awake, half asleep, and I was getting a lot of downloads, but it was a lot of the same information. And I was literally just like having a conversation with my guides and just talking through some stuff because basically what I want to talk about and what they wanted me to talk about is they very much confirmed like that there was a big like timeline jump, um, and that we're shifting into like this new world and all of that. We've seen and heard a lot of that from other people and a lot of the stuff on the Schumann and everything. So I got some like good confirmation with that, and I really felt it too, especially when I was talking to them. A lot of things that they were like describing to me and like showing me was this shift into also like simplicity. And this was not even just like immediate, this was very much like future forward thinking, and showing me examples of that. What was really interesting is I actually saw, when I was kind of more in like a dream state, was I was taken to what I would call like a first draft because it looked like it was honestly built like in like Minecraft. It was very blocky, uh, but the best way I can describe it is that it was simple. It was a simple way of living, and having conversations with my guides, I got a lot of that confirmation. Is that they were talking about like the original intention for us here and what things were supposed to be. We were technology was supposed to be a really great thing and a great tool to have, but it wasn't supposed to be like what controlled and consumed us. It was supposed to be like what I associated with this phrase when I was talking to them, like a supporting actor. It wasn't supposed to be like the main the main role in our lives, and that's kind of what it's become. But that was not the intention at all behind it. It was supposed to be the supporting role in our lives to help us with certain things, but not to over consume us. We were always supposed to live a more like simple life. We were, growing our own vegetables and living on land and building our own things and taking care of our own animals and doing all of these really simple things. Money wasn't supposed to be like a thing almost. We were all just supposed to kind of be living the same life. There wasn't like, that hierarchy and rich and poor and all these different things. It was supposed to be just a very much like collective, um, just type of living. And there wasn't supposed to be different classes or anything like that. It was never supposed to be that. We were all supposed to be comfortable, be happy, be free, wanting to do what we wanted, and living, healthy mental lives, physical lives, all these things. And tech was supposed to be growing, yes, and getting better and doing what it's supposed to be doing to an extent, but be like the supporting thing that we could rely on to help us do things a little bit quicker, do things a little bit easier. Wasn't supposed to be like it is now. So I was shown and told all of this. And the reason I'm talking about this is because this timeline jump and this shift is like a step towards that. That is what they see the future as and what it's supposed to be eventually, right? Simplicity is the key here and what we're supposed to be remembering. And it takes me back to that dream I had the other night of like I was with this group of people and we were doing this, we were in this new beginning and we were talking about building the houses and starting fresh and all of this stuff. So it really aligns with that too, which is really crazy. And I even got reminded of the movie The Fifth Element, which I haven't seen since I was a kid, but I love that movie. But I remember they showed like a future. They were in like he was in like the future, and the city was, floating, the cars were driving in the sky, and like all of this, and they always depict what the future is supposed to be, but that was never, like I said, the intention. That's just what we've been told and shown, like what we should expect, but it's not what we are supposed to be living here on Earth. Other galaxies and beings and planets and whatever, they all have different ways of living as well. There are some that I know depict that like type of living, right? Where you imagine what a future would look like in 300 years, and like that's what it looks like now in some areas, right? But there are some where there's just vegetation, there's just untouched, mainly like green and colors of things you could never even imagine, and water and more simple living, just like we were supposed to have here on Earth. And that is what they're trying to get back to, a more simple time while having the technology to be able to help support us and help us where we need it. Not being that main role, staying as that supporting actor. So I wanted to come on and just tell that story because that's how it was told to me. And it was literally like a 3 hour conversation that I had with them. And they were showing me really great, beautiful things and reminding us to not forget about the simple things and to make sure that we're not letting technology and other things really be the catalyst in our life and be that number one necessity, and that we can do things ourselves, and to start to think about how we can be more in touch with the things that are real in this world, right? Being outside, being grounded, being within the nature, being within the things that exist naturally, and letting that be more a part of our lives than the technology is. So don't really have like a complete point to this, right? But just to talk about it, that's what I'm seeing with this new timeline jump. This is a big shift in mindset, a big shift in a trajectory, a big shift into like where our focus should be and what we should be thinking about. If that future might not be in our physical lifetimes right now, that's coming up in anyone that's alive right now, but it's something that is showing in the future. But we can do little things now to have it impact us in this current life that we're having right now.